welcome to another episode of Vibe Club. We've got a really good episode today. In today's episode, I interviewed Jessie-Rose and we discussed her origin story, which is a new installment and feature of this podcast. Now, an origin story is where I ask someone to choose 5 songs of their earliest memories of their musical awakening. So the things that really influenced them from when they were young and the things that have affected the music tastes that they have now. So Jessie's compiled 5 together and we sit down, we talk about it, we discuss those memories, and then we listen to the songs as well. So stay tuned. This is the origin story with Jessie-Rose. So today we have a really nice episode. I'm really looking forward to this episode, and we're going to consider a new topic that we're going to introduce to some of the episodes of the podcast, and it is origin story, where we learn a little bit about someone's musical origins and how it's affected them growing up and to where they are now. And today on the podcast we have a special guest. We have Jessie-Rose.
Hello.
And she's joining us, and we get to hear all about her origin story. So, Jessie, I'm really glad that you got back to me to want to do a podcast episode today. I really am. Because especially with your musical background and whatnot, and seeing some of the songs that you have made yourself that you sent me yesterday, I am even more eager to hear your origin story. So, can I first start with asking, why did you want to do an origin story episode?
I think so much of the music that I love, I find myself constantly trying to explain to people why I love certain songs, and it always comes back to me saying it's got this thing in it that I've loved since I was a kid. And I think that there are certain aspects of music that so shaped what I'm drawn to that pretty much everything I listen to now is in some way connected to that, even if only for like a few seconds of a song. So I think that's where it all sort of comes from.
Yeah, that makes sense. I totally get that. It's funny, isn't it, when you start like looking at yourself retrospectively, you start to notice those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So if I'm right, you mentioned yesterday when we were planning for the episode that you're going to talk a little bit as well about how some of these things kind of influence how you play music. Is that right?
Yeah, how they sort of have played into the songs that I write.
Hopefully by the time this podcast is released, Jessie will have her songs on Spotify, so you can go and listen to them.
Yes, that's good. Give me a time restraint. I work well with deadlines.
You've got until next week.
Okay, no.
Oh, man. Oh, well. Nonetheless, keep looking out for it. I can always post it on the Instagram page for this podcast when you're going live on Spotify. So that would be really cool.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Right. So I think you've got 5 different songs for us today. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. I love limiting it to 5 because it always makes things a little bit tricky for you when you're like, oh, this one's really good, but then this one's really good. So
yeah, it was very, very hard to narrow it down to 5 songs, I'll be honest.
I was just about to ask that. Yeah. Well, if there's any honourable mentions, you're welcome to honourably mention them as we go along.
Okay, perfect.
So can we start with your first one? What was your first song that you wanted to talk about as part of your origin story?
Right, so my first song is Lonely Boy by Andrew Gold.
Okay.
So this song is, it's a bit of a random one, but when I was a kid, I used to go to sleep listening to a local radio station, and I swear they only had like 20 songs in their catalogue that they were allowed to use. And this was one of them. And I remember just listening to this radio station and getting totally obsessed with this song. And pretty much every night I would just text in and request this song, and I'd always get it because I think I was one of about 5 listeners. And I don't know why I was so obsessed with it, but it made me very obsessed with storyline songs and just songs that kind of paint a picture in your head and take you on that journey, and that's why I fell in love with this one.
Okay. When do you think you first heard this as like a child?
I think I would have been like 9.
Wow.
And I remember just hearing it and being like, this is incredible. And then like the next morning I ran to show my sister and she was like, it's not really my thing. And I just remember thinking, it blows my mind how you can have songs that just mean something so big to one person, to somebody else it isn't quite, but just that idea of writing songs that paint enough of a picture that for the right person it just fascinates them.
Okay, so how do you find like that this affected your songwriting then?
I think what I loved so much is that it's a song that kind of just sums up something that is very everyday. It kind of goes into the fact that history just keeps repeating itself and people sort of stick in the pattern that they've been brought up in, even if they didn't find it the easiest thing.
Yeah.
And I think that just made me a bit fascinated with the idea of writing songs that people could listen to and go, you know, part of this really resonates with me. And it sort of just sums up a feeling that they feel. And so I think, yeah, my lyrics tend to be very story-like, or sort of trying to describe things people feel in a more like poetic way. Yeah, and I think a lot of that has come from songs like this one.
That's brilliant. I love it. And now I love that as I'm going to listen to this, I've got the image of like a 9-year-old Jessie like texting in a radio station.
Yep.
Man, every 50p that you spent on this song. It was always the worst as well when you paid to request a song and then they didn't play it.
Oh, they always took my requests. And the best thing was it was such a small radio station. I remember one night I got my sister to listen and I texted in a message to say goodnight to her and she texted in a message to say goodnight to me. And we were just sat there and we were like, we've officially tested the theory that no one is listening to this right now.
That's fantastic. I love that. What was the name of that radio station?
Oh, it was like a local like Kent one. I think it was just, but this was at like 2-3 in the morning when I did my most like, and still do most of my thinking. So yeah, I think most people at that point were beyond texting in. Wow,
goodness me! I just imagine like that DJ getting these texts coming in, thinking, "Oh man, I've got to do this."
Yeah.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this one then. So is there any particular part of the song you want to listen to?
Yeah, it's just the whole thing. Yeah, the whole storyline of it.
Okie dokie. Brilliant. And yeah, whenever you're ready, we can hit play. And if there's any points you want to pause or talk about it, you're welcome to do so.
Okie dokie.
So you tell me when.
I'm ready. Yep, go for it.
1, 2, 3, 4. He was born on a summer day, 1951, and with the slap of a hand he had landed as an only son. His mother and father said, what a lovely boy, we'll teach him what we learned. Oh yes,
I think I can see how this has influenced your songwriting already. And I've only heard 2 of your songs and I can tell. So early 2000s, and you're there, 2 a.m, 9-year-old in Kent, listen to the radio, listen to 70s music. Nice.
I literally remember like wanting to belt this song out, but because it was 2 in the morning, I just had to do it very quietly to myself.
I've never heard this.
Have you not? I don't even know why they played it, but I just loved it.
Yeah. It's nice having songs with stories to them. I feel like that was a bit more of a 70s thing as well.
Yeah. Exactly. well, this was kind of pre me having Spotify, so it was, if they didn't play it on the radio, then I didn't have a way of listening to it for the longest time. And I think that made it even more precious to me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's this next verse I love, because this is where it just goes into like history repeating itself. I just love it.
He left home on a winter day, 1969, and he left to find all the love he had lost in that earlier time. Well, his sister grew up and she married a man. He gave her a son, oh yes, a lovely son. Dressed him up early, they sent him to school. They taught him how to fight to be the brightest fool. Oh, what a lonely boy. 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 Oh, what a lonely boy.
I think with the a lot of modern music sort of only focuses on like love songs is where a lot of music is aimed at, and I think that's what drew me to a lot of 70s music, is that they kind of explore all sorts of different emotions and relationships and things.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
There you go.
So, tell me, like, why did it make the list, the top 5?
I just remember when I heard it, there were bits of it that made me feel like I wanted to cry and I didn't even know why, and there were bits that made me feel really happy, and it was just one of those things where I love songs that make you really go on a journey and feel something. And I love the fact that, like, no matter what mood I'm in, if I put that song on for the next 4 or 5 minutes, that's the world I'm living in. And I love songs that have the power to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a really important point. Yeah, I really like that you said that, because that's something really special.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that one, and that's solidly in the first spot there of your origin story, Andrew Gold, Lonely Boy. Mm-hmm. So what made the second on the list? Right,
so we're taking a bit of a diversion here. I was very much raised on musicals. My dad was a very, very big musicals person. He loved them. But I was also obsessed with ABBA in a big way. I could do a whole podcast just about my feelings on ABBA.
Wow.
And I think that one of the huge aspects of ABBA and musical songs that I loved was harmonies.
Yeah.
And songs that could overlap each other. When you can have different people singing completely different things and it all comes together. I love that aspect of music. And that's something I love doing in my own music. I love layering and having different vocal lines all going over each other. And there's a musical called Chess, which is what this one's from. It's called Quartet, A Model of Decorum and Tranquility. Nice long title for you.
Well, if you don't have a long title, then are you really a song?
Exactly. So the thing is with this, this is from a musical called Chess, which is actually written by the two guys from ABBA. And it's an incredible song. And so the reason I picked this one is just because it kind of sums up in a song what I love so much about musical songs and ABBA songs in one.
Do you know what? I'm really looking forward to this because I also grew up in a family of musicals. And yeah, my sisters especially just listened to and watched so many musicals. So I am a fan.
Perfect.
But I haven't watched this one.
So many people haven't, and it's one of the best.
I'm very much looking forward to this one. What is chess about then? And I'm gathering it's not about chess.
It is about chess, but it's about the one main character is an American chess player and one main character is a Russian chess player. And it's a storyline sort of based around both sort of chess as a sport, but the impact that's had through history on sort of the different historic and political sort of sides of things. And it's just, yeah, it's I always describe it as there isn't a musical that has more amazing just I've had enough songs. There's just every character in it has a song at some point where they're just like, I'm done now. And it's one of the most powerful musicals ever.
Really? Okay. I'm really interested in listening to this. All right, I'm really looking forward to that. So it's Chess Quartet, a model of decorum and tranquility, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Awesome. You let me know when we're pressing play.
Yep, go ahead.
We wish, no must, make our disgust at this abuse perfectly clear.
I like it already.
We're here for chess. Are the US? If so, why foul the atmosphere?
I must protest. Our delegation has a host of valid points to raise. Our play is noting attitudes beyond the praise as any neutral word that does. But we concede the
Yeah, this is really good.
It's just genius having so many different things going on.
If your man's so sweet, then why he's fighting talk? If he's not a cheat, then why on earth did he go take a walk? Why
I'm not surprised he wanted fresh air.
soon
Once he
reduce
realized
this great
there was no hope
event
of your love
to a
playing
brawl.
fair.
It's very sad to see the ancient and distinguished game that used to
be
a model of decorum and tranquility become like any other sport, a battleground for rival ideologies to slug it out.
Oh, I love that. I love it when they're separate and then they come and sing. So
Yes.
good.
Yes. Spent a lot of my childhood trying to keep up with the lyrics, but also trying to sing every part, which doesn't work.
Oh, this is gorgeous. I love it. Love it.
You understand the strain of pressure getting where he's gone. For then you'd simply call him highly strung and not imply that he was one of those.
There's no good point in waiting here all night for his return. And since a peaceful match is our sole concern, we won't make an official fuss. Short, we rise above your guys. Tantrums, dramas, dirty tricks.
I can only say I hope you no game kill that far off day. I hope you close with helping number two.
It's very sad to see the ancient and distinguished game that used to be a model of decorum and tranquility become like any other sport, a battleground for rival ideologies.
Ooh, okay. I've got so many comments on this.
Okay.
So that reminded me of so many things. And this is your podcast episode, not mine. But from a first initial reaction, that last bit reminded me of, you know, at the start of Beauty and the Beast?
Yep.
When they're singing through the town square and there's all the different layers.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes, exactly.
Love it, love it, love it. That sounded fantastic.
Yep, that song always makes it on my musical songs of lots of overlapping stuff going on.
So good. And then there was a bit midway which also reminded me of Phantom of the Opera, Past the Point of No Return, where they have different layers where they're singing different things, and it was gorgeous. And then I also really like how I feel like the actual musicality of it conveyed the feeling of chess, with some pieces moving slower, some pieces moving faster, some pieces being more dynamic. I don't know anything about the show, but that's my very initial reaction.
Yes, it's absolutely spot on. And that's the thing, it's one of those musicals that whenever I recommend it to people, I'm like, don't judge it by how dull it sounds to just watch a show about chess, because there's so much in it. The staging of it all, the dancing, it's all so geared in a really clever way to sort of tie chess into it. There's actually a DVD of it. There was a performance of it at the Royal Albert Hall, which I was at, and it's a brilliant way of just sort of seeing what's actually going on in the songs, and yeah, I just love it so much.
Wow. You know what? If my sister's listening to this podcast episode, which I'm hoping that she is, then it sounds like definitely a musical she should watch, because she loves musicals, and so does my brother-in-law, but he also loves chess. So if they haven't seen this one, they really should.
Oh, there you go. It's the best of all worlds.
So I have to ask then, why did this make your top 5 in your origin story?
I think, like I said, the overlapping vocals is just something I've always loved so much. And at first I was sat there and I was like, I don't know whether to choose a song from a musical or whether to choose an ABBA song, because they're kind of what's responsible for both of those things. And then I was just like, chess combines the two amazing things. Because I think that ABBA is one of those bands that people can sort of discount musically. And I grew up with my dad adoring the Chess musical, but hating ABBA. It was the only band my dad told me I wasn't allowed to listen to around him.
Wow.
But I remember when I was a teenager, he gave ABBA more of a fair chance and proper listened to them, and he was just like, you know what? Their writing is just unreal. And he was like, the writing that they put into Chess, it's there through all of their music, even if their music sounds just sort of like upbeat and cheesy. If you actually listen out for the musical aspects of it, it's incredible. And I think that this song just kind of sums up all of the stuff that they do best in one place.
Wow. Okay, because I like ABBA, so I'm going to have to go and watch this then. You know what? I do understand your dad, though. I feel like, to a degree, because I really like ABBA, but I understand how it's one of those things that gets so overplayed that you don't want to hear it. And it was for a while. And I think now it's not so played so much, so it's a bit more palatable again.
Exactly. I think that you've got songs, like, you've got all the classic ABBA songs that get played all the time, and they are great for having a dance to. But there are certain, like my favourite ABBA song is a song called Head Over Heels. And that's not, I'm yet to find anyone that when I put that on goes, oh yeah, I love this ABBA song, because most people haven't heard it. And I think what people don't realise is ABBA had a lot of albums, and they explored a lot of different music types. So there is definitely the ones that are just great bops for dancing around to, but there's also some incredible sort of musical songs in there that a lot of people don't give the time to.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely recommend just listening to all of them.
Listen to all of the ABBA albums. That's your homework for the listeners.
All ABBA.
My word, I think you've just given people like a year's worth of homework. That's insane.
Yeah, pretty much. It's worth it though.
I would like them to listen to the podcast as well.
Wonderful.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that you shared that one.
I think there's a recording of the concert on YouTube just called Checkers instead of Chess. So that's your roundabout way to find it, to watch it.
So, on to your third. Yeah, we're at number 3. Wow. So, number 3 on your origin story. And that is...
So, that is The Brazilian by Genesis.
Aha, some Genesis coming out.
We've got to have Genesis.
I feel like I'm learning more and more about your upbringing.
Yes, in a big way.
Like 70s, and 70s.
Yeah, Genesis are about as origin story as you can get, because my mum and dad ultimately ended up together because of their shared love of Genesis. So these guys have been around all the time.
Well, you know, Phil Collins has a special place in my heart. So
A wonderful man.
tell me about why, because I've never heard this song actually.
Okay.
I've heard Genesis, but I haven't heard this one. So tell me, why did this one make your top 5 list?
So, without sounding making myself sound too much like a proper sensory kid, I have always loved certain sounds. I have it where I will have a film I love, and it's because of a certain sound that keeps repeating in a film. It's just been a thing my whole life, and Genesis are one of those bands that like to just put sounds in their music that I don't know where they're finding them. But they just have these sounds, and I remember as a kid just hearing them and being like, I'm absolutely obsessed with this. And like I said, how these things are what have impacted what I listen to now. There are songs I listen to now, and if I actually have to whittle it down to why, I'll be like, well, because this little bit between the bridge and the chorus, there's this sound in the background, and I love it so much that that's what makes it for me. And I think as well, when I grew up, I got into quite like some dubstep and electronic music because of loving those sounds. And I remember my dad, I made him listen to a 8-minute long electronic song. And I was expecting him to listen to it and go, this is a load of rubbish. And he listened to it and he was just like, yeah, this is giving me Genesis vibes. Like, this is what Genesis would be making if they were around now.
Okay.
And I think this song sort of shows that really well.
Well, now I'm really interested, because now I'm going to be like listening to it with a heightened ear sense.
Yes, listen for all the weird noises.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm looking forward to this one. So specifically, I've got to listen out for weird noises. That is the best advice.
Yeah, it's not hard to hear them. Don't worry, you can't miss them.
Okie dokie. So are we listening to the whole song for this, or just a part of it?
If we listen to sort of the start through to when it builds to, I guess, what would musically be the chorus.
All right. So you let me know where we're pressing play.
Yep, go ahead.
Yes. This is great. That drum tom sound is so Phil Collins.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like his toms have such a like an echo to them.
Yes. And here comes the chorus bit.
Well, this is fantastic.
Yeah, this was very much my thing. I think the side of it I always loved as well. I love songs that they kind of build and build and build so much that then when the drop comes in, it's almost like a relief.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that dubstep music does. Sort of gets you to that point where you're just desperate for the bass to drop. And I think that this song gets that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I loved it.
I'm glad. You can take back your comment about Genesis driving people apart.
Well, Genesis still does do that, but
Yep, it does. It does.
and I don't really get why either, but I like it. So I don't know why people have an issue with Genesis. Although we won't talk about how good Phil Collins is solo, but
I love Phil Collins. I will never say a bad word about him.
no, not at all. Not at all. So, okay, I'm curious to ask then, how has this affected your music? Because I didn't hear this in the music I've heard of yours.
Yep, so this is where the side comes into it of production. I find when I write music, when I write my songs, they never sound finished to me, and it's because for me, I know exactly the sounds that I want to be going in the background of my songs. And that's where the production aspect comes in that I'm desperate to learn more about. But I think that things like one thing that Genesis really do in their music is their music just doesn't go where you're expecting it to. And I think for me, I've never done a music lesson in my life. I've never done any music theory or anything like that. My music has always just come from what I want it to sound like. And I think that sometimes when people write music, they're quite restricted by the rules of what's meant to be in a song or what chord it's meant to go to or different things like that. And I think Genesis just very much shaped my view of not wanting to be tied by that. And if you want to put in weird noises or you want to do weird timing or take 9 minutes to have your song play, like, then just do that, because if it sounds good, then it's not wrong.
Yeah, that is really, really good. That is a really good comment. Oh, I could waffle so much right now about things I could recommend you, but remind me after we've finished recording of things I have to recommend you.
Yes, please. Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm going to end up getting carried away talking about other music that I think you would love after you've made some of those comments. Oh, man. Oh, so much is coming to my head. Stop.
Don't lose it. Okay. Tell me later.
I will, don't worry. It will all be forgotten. Well, I am really glad then that you brought Genesis up, and especially this song, The Brazilian, because I'd never heard that. So, okay, I'm getting a bit more of a picture of who Jessie-Rose is now after we've gone through your first 3 on this list. So, what is number 4?
Okay, this is where things go a bit weird. Because, again, obsessed with musicals. There was one particular video we had of a production called Hey Mr. Producer, which was just a collection of loads of different musicals and a few songs from them being performed. And there was a song through that called Suddenly Seymour. It's from Little Shop of Horrors, which is not a musical I like, but this song was a proper obsession song for me. So if you can get that, Suddenly Seymour, but the Hey Mr. Producer version of it. Yeah, so this song needs an explanation before you listen to it, otherwise it's just super weird. I remember just sitting in front of the TV and putting this video on and rewinding it over and over and over again. And I don't know why. The character at this point is sort of just, well, I've Had Enough songs apparently. And it's just this woman who's just kept it together and who has been a proper sweetheart the whole time, just being like, life's been really rough. And that really comes out in her voice. And there are points of the song where she is literally just scream singing. But I remember as a kid, it didn't occur to me to think, why is this woman singing like this? It sounds weird. Like, all that I got from it was how she felt, and that really affected me. And I think, that's something that has affected my music, is even if it is a bit off the wall or a bit strange, it's more about what it gets across, right. And that's why this song is in here.
Right, I'm really interested in hearing this now. It's Suddenly Seymour from the Little Shop of Horrors by Ellen Green on the Hey Mr. Producer album.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, cool. Brilliant. Well, now I'm really interested to hear what this is, because I have no clue what this is going to sound like. So, okay, well, you give us the countdown.
Okie dokie. Right, go ahead.
Lift up your head, push off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay. Suddenly Seymour is
beside you. Don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you.
Here comes the weird vocals.
Understanding. Seymour's your friend.
Treated me kindly. Daddy left early. Mama was gone. I'd meet a man and I'd follow him blindly. He'd snap his fingers. Me, I say sure.
This is fantastic. No regrets listening to that.
Yeah. And at that point, I would just rewind it and watch it again and again and again. I just remember as a kid just being like, I just totally wrapped up in the emotion she managed to get across in it.
That was fantastic. That actually, it's reminding me of so many different things. But I'm not going to get distracted. I'm trying really hard not to get distracted because all music is connected and it reminds me of so many different other things. So, let's stay on the topic because I am so tempted to go off track here, but we're not going to.
Okay.
So tell me, when did you first hear that?
Oh, man. We had the video of it, and I think it came out in like mid-late 90s, so it must have been literally from when I was a toddler. I remember being tiny and sitting in front of it and watching it. And again, like I said earlier, how ABBA was the only band that I got banned from playing in my house. This song was probably the only song that my sister Sarah ever said, if you play that again, I'm going to go mad. Because just for my whole life, it was just one of those that I would just listen to on repeat. But yeah, there we go. It came out in 1998. So from when I was about 3 or 4, that was a big thing for me.
Wow. So we are going way back to true origin story here.
Yes, in a big way. But I think that's the thing. I think with little kids, I think there's a certain point where they hit this age where they start going, well, that's weird and that sounds strange.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually what they mean is it just doesn't sound like everything else they've heard. Whereas I think that age, where you're just that little bit younger, that doesn't really occur to you.
Yeah.
Because everything you're hearing is new and is weird. And I think that's what impacted the fact that I've never really been fazed by things being a bit weird. Yeah, because I was just obsessed with songs like that one.
That is such a good point. I'm so glad you was able to articulate that way better than I could, because I think that's really important. And one of my favourite things about considering, your origin story of like when you're so young, and essentially when you're young, you don't care whether something is cool or not cool, strange or not strange. You don't care whether it's a hit or a not hit, or on what side of an album it is. You just like it if you like it. And really interesting to then go back and like listen to it with now the view that we have of, everything in its proper place. It's really interesting to kind of look at it through the eyes of completely impartial you, which was you when you were young,
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm glad that you've had that upbringing that you kind of feel like you're comfortable to listen to many things which otherwise would be like non-conformist.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think my my mum and dad, my mum grew up constantly running like a decade behind, where she missed the Beatles being a thing because she was listening to 40s and 50s music instead. And she was kind of always listening to music that wasn't remotely fashionable at the time, but she loved it. And then with my dad, I grew up with him being obsessed with musicals, obsessed with Genesis, obsessed with so many types of music that people would say, oh no, I don't like that. And I think because of that, there were times where even if mum and dad didn't like my music, they were like, well, it's your music. So my dad would buy me albums for bands that he couldn't stand, but that didn't matter to him. It was just, if you like it, you like it, and it really doesn't matter whether anyone else likes it. And I think that has a big impact on how you experience things later.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. It's kind of funny that, isn't it? You know, when you start to think about those things, and you kind of are grateful to your parents for being or teaching you certain music in certain ways, because it's totally shaped who you are now. Like, we won't even get into the fact that me and my sister love Duran Duran because my dad just played it non-stop, but I'm kind of grateful to that.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, I was obsessed with Duran Duran for a while.
Who wasn't?
Exactly. It was the main singer in Eyeliner. That's what did it for me.
Well, I wasn't going to say that that's what did it for me, but...
No, don't.
Oh, this podcast just took a turn. No. Okay. So, before we get to your last song, were there any honourable mentions that we're not going to listen to, but you wanted to mention, that almost made the cut?
Yeah, so many. So I can't even begin to go into them. But I think that when I told my dad that I was doing this podcast, he was like, please tell me that you're going to mention Frank Sinatra. And I was like, why? And then it all came back to me that from the age of about 9 till about 12, I had posters of Frank Sinatra all over my walls.
Wow.
I was absolutely obsessed with him. And I remember just collecting every Frank Sinatra CD that I could, even if it had songs on that I already had. And it's so weird because it didn't sort of stay as a big aspect of my music, but it just was a thing for a few years. So my dad was like, even if it doesn't impact your music greatly now, you have to give a shout out to that weird patch of your childhood where you were the kid with Frank Sinatra posters on the wall.
Well, too right, because I don't know any other kids that have Frank Sinatra pictures on their wall.
No, everybody else had, like, boy bands, and I just thought Frank Sinatra was the best thing.
Whoa. Not everybody. I didn't have any boy band pictures on my wall. I'm just putting that out there.
Are you sure? Did you not have Duran Duran?
No, I did not have... No, look, we're moving on. This is not about me, it's about you. Okay, so Frank Sinatra obsessed. Cool. Nice honourable mention there.
Yeah.
Shout out to your dad for making you mention that, because otherwise I would have never known that 10-year-old Jess had loads of Frank Sinatra pictures all over her wall. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Grateful to your dad for exposing that fact about you there. Any other final honourable mentions?
Like I say, just too many. But I think that, most of my favourite music now, so many bands and singers, like I said, you can just see in it that it's because it's got one of these things in it. It's got a story, or it's got harmonies, or weird noises, or weird vocals. So just any song that sort of doesn't just follow the normal pattern of what a song should be. I'm sort of in for all of those.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think we've already learnt a great deal about you at the start of this podcast from these first 4 songs. And all I could say is I'm actually compiling a list in front of me of songs artists I have to recommend you. Because from what you've said, I'm like, oh, she's someone I could recommend the weird stuff to.
Perfect. Send it all over.
So fantastic. I can't wait. But we're not going to mention it now because I don't want people to get distracted. So, onwards to your final origin story, which is the number 5 slot. And what is that?
Right, so it's Creep, which everybody knows, but a cover of it by Keena Grannis.
And why do you want to include this song as your 5th slot as part of your origin?
So, one of the biggest influences on my music was my brother, Sam. He shaped so much of the music I love. I was homeschooled and it was his job to teach me science on a Wednesday. What that actually meant was when Mum had left, we would lock all the doors and blast music ridiculously loudly. And we would just listen to like all the classics like Nirvana and all those sort of songs that just sum up an era, and I feel sum up having a big brother who skates and listens to that kind of music. But he was one of the most influential people in my music and always really supported me doing it in a big way. And so much of what I loved came from him. And back in August 2021, unfortunately we lost him. And one of the things he did before he died was he put a post-it note on his best guitar with my name on it so that they knew to give it to me. And he left a note and said that at his funeral he wanted a girl to sing Creep because it was the song he related to more than anything. And I knew from that note that what he was saying was he wanted me to sing it, but he didn't want to put that pressure on me. And so if I couldn't do it, that just someone who sounded like that needed to do it. Fortunately, I managed to find the strength somehow to sing it at his funeral. Yeah, and I think this song, it's just one of those songs that he introduced me to when I was a kid. He always told me he related to it. There were patches of my life where I grew up relating to it. Yeah, so just massive shout out really to the huge impact that he had on the music I love now.
Wow. You know what? I'm really sorry that you and your family have gone through that, and that's like a really emotional story connected to this song, which I'm actually really grateful that you shared that with me and with everyone else that's listening to this podcast, because that is a very powerful story, and that's going to forever impact how I listen to this song, I think, now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's listening to that.
And I think just I spoke to one of his best friends after we lost him, and he said that he remembers so many evenings where they would sit out on the decking of their house and my brother would just put on recordings of me singing and be like, right, we're just going to listen to my sister sing and we're going to talk about it. And he used to play it at his work. He used to play it across the speakers so that people could hear it. Just sort of, yeah, my siblings and my family have had such a big impact on the music I love. But I think Sam was who really inspired me to do my own music. Yeah, and so it's important to include him in that.
I 100% agree with you. I really think that that's so important. And I'm so glad that you're adding a piece of him into this podcast by including this song. I'm really grateful that you're doing that, especially because he's had such a big influence on you, and probably it sounds like the type of guy that would have an influence on a lot of other people then. And it's just so sweet on how much he appreciated your music all the way back then as well. Wow. Well, thanks Jessie for sharing that story. So should we listen to this one, and we'll be able to especially think about your brother as we're listening to this one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, perfect. So this version of it I've picked this version because of the fact that it sort of sums up the vibe of it, what it was at his funeral. And I remember managing to sing it and my sister joining in singing because she realised that it was going to be a lot harder to do it on my own, and everybody singing along. And yeah, just this song, this version of it kind of has more of that vibe to it. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
You were here before. Couldn't look you in the eye. Just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. And I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so very special. I wish I was special. But I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Oh, she's right again. Oh, she's right again. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want. You're so very special. I wish I was special.
Wow.
There we go.
Well, I absolutely loved that. I haven't heard that particular cover of Creep, and that was just gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I think it's one of those songs that I've known so many people that at different points in their life have related to that song. But I think what's so amazing about it, I love songs like that where, you know, the original of it is very rocky and very intense. But it's one of those songs, I think, where the words are just so powerful that you can take it and you can do it in pretty much any emotion you want. And those words still stand and still get across so much emotion. But yeah, that was what my brother very much wanted, was just a guitar and just to sing it and just sort of let the words do the talking, really.
Yeah. Wow. It's It sounds like your brother had a real deep connection to music, and I'm glad that he passed that on to you and
Yes,
family
yeah,
as well.
Big time.
And he probably got a lot of influence from your parents as well. So, you know, your parents must have done a good job raising you all.
Yeah, definitely. I think me and my brother had a shared Spotify playlist, and I've had shared Spotify playlists with people that end up having 10 songs on them, whereas one of my brother had so many songs, because he had the same thing, just a real love for everything, and just sort of nothing was not worth listening to. Yeah, I think that's a big thing of what's affected all of our music tastes.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see one of these playlists one day. Well, Jessie, thank you so much for all the work you've put into like preparing your origin story. Thank you for telling us those stories. Some of them were really emotional and sentimental and a part of you. I'm really grateful that you shared some of those stories with us. Well, Jessie, I thank you ever so much for joining the podcast.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
So there we have it, Jessie-Rose's origin story, and it was made up of these 5 choices. To begin with, we started with Lonely Boy by Andrew Gold, and then we followed that with the song from the musical Chess, Quartet, a model of decorum and tranquility. Then for the third choice, we listened to The Brazilian by Genesis. And then for the fourth song, we listened to the song Suddenly Seymour from the musical Little Shop of Horrors, and it was specifically from the 1998 Hey Mr. Producer album. And then finally, we listened to Creep by Keena Grannis.